So I, 21 female, have a beautiful brown cat, Midge. She's still a baby and is 10 months old. I found her outside of my work when she was about 2 to 3 months old and immediately fell in love with her. We'd have the best time together, and her being my first pet since moving out makes me even happier. My cousin Tanya, 15 female, visits me a lot since we live in the same city and I enjoy having her. She also really likes cats, but since her father is allergic, they don't have any at home. She really loves coming over to see Midge, and I'm glad to be able to provide her with Midge's presence. School recently started, and before I go back to being a full-time student, I've been having to work almost 45 hours a week to afford my lifestyle for the next couple months. Since I was busy, I let her have the responsibility of taking care of Midge, such as feeding her, cleaning her little box, and so on. It was going really well, and I didn't have the chance to take her home since I was going to be at work. I gave her my spare key to lock up and scheduled an Uber to take her to her house. When I came home 8 hours later, Midge was gone. I called Tanya and she swore Midge was home when she left. But after a couple hours, my brother called, asking when I gave Midge to Tanya. I was confused and he sent me a screenshot of Tanya kissing Midge on her Instagram story. I knew she blocked me from being able to see it. I was shocked she would do this to me, as well as lie. I had a spare key to their house and went right over and took Midge back when they weren't home. When I got home, Tanya called screaming at me over the phone telling me I broke into their house and stole her property. I laughed and asked how Midge was hers. She told me since she took care of her, she deserved her since I wasn't home, and she had to save Midge. Her parents were also pretty upset since I did go into their home without permission and told me I didn't deserve Midge from what Tanya told them. They told me they decided my uncle will take allergy medication for Midge and I needed to give her back. Of course, I said no. Tanya ended up calling my mom, lying to her that I abused Midge. My mom called angry, telling me how I could do this to Midge, and if I don't give her to Tanya and her family, she will disown me. Tanya texted me this weekend that if I apologize, she might forgive me. Her parents have been texting me all weekend. They will press charges since I did go into their home, and will take Midge then. I don't know what to do. I love Midge so much, and my mom gave my aunt and uncle permission to go to my apartment and take her. I know this because Tanya texted me that I'm assuming to scare me. I'm so scared. I am so scared one of these days I'm going to come home and Midge is going to be gone again. My brother and dad think I'm a jerk since I did go into their home without permission and acted out without trying to solve it maturely. So am I the jerk for stealing my cat? Edit. I called and left a voicemail to my landlord and gave a brief explanation of the situation. I'm upset since I asked for him to change the locks and he refused. Legally, he was able to since as a college student my mom's name is on the lease and he needed her permission. Of course, he called and she refused. I'm scared she's going to come tomorrow, but I do have a friend. I can drop Midge off before work. Edit 2. Hi everyone. I want to say thank you so much for your input. I want to put you all at ease and let you know that I set up an appointment for Midge to get microchipped this Saturday on my day off. I also did order a small security camera that covers my whole living room / front door. I'm still requesting my landlord to change locks, but he still has his foot down. I can't move out since where I live is pretty hard to get a place, and basically everything requires credit, which I do not have. Getting to it. The only negative side is Tanya has been posting pictures of Midge on Instagram, claiming I stole her, and have received lots of messages from her friends and classmates from school trying to cancel and dox me. Her parents have called me giving me second chances to reconsider before they press charges, which I highly doubt they would do. My mom and I aren't talking, and I don't want to go no contact with her since I love my mom very much. I'm sure after all of this resolves we're going to have a mature talk about how she acted and what was wrong. I'll be sure to keep everyone updated if anything else happens. And now for some comments. You're not in the wrong. Change your locks. If they want to press charges against you for retrieving your property, in the eyes of the law, a cat is property. Then they will have to admit that your cousin stole from you in the first place. I would just block and ignore all of these people. You're not in the wrong. I don't want to say that in my experience, if you were given a key, then cops won't do much about you trespassing or breaking in. Change your locks as soon as humanly possible. Ask your landlord how he wants it done. He does it or you do. Get a security camera if possible. Do you have proof of ownership of Midge? Whether licensing, vet bills, etc. You will absolutely need that if any legal precedence comes up. Also keep any/all messages involving the cat. Also go ahead and file a report about the theft of your cat, the fact that you retrieved said animal, and the threats by these people to try to steal the cat again. That way if she goes missing again, you have documentation and can file charges. I'd also let the family know that any further attempts to remove the cat from you will result in charges being pressed. Not in the wrong. Change your locks and have Mitch microchipped today. I, 31 female, am part of a friend group that meets up for dinner about twice a month. There are 6 to 8 of us that go together, depending on schedules. And we take turns picking restaurants we want to try and for the most part we seem to have similar tastes. Last year one of my friends, Jen, asked if we could include a friend of hers, Kate, that just moved to our city. Jen knew Kate from college and since Kate was new in town, Jen thought this would be a nice way for her to develop social connections without too much hassle or pressure. Turns out, Kate is really nice and funny and is now good friends with all of us. However, Kate has a pretty serious seafood allergy. Like, not just shellfish or just fish, all seafood. She's not deathly allergic, more like breakout in hives type allergic. This hasn't really been an issue since we live in the Midwest, and there is not a lot of seafood specialty restaurants near us. There are a few that we tried before Kate moved here, but none of them were worth risking Kate's allergy to go back to. That was until a new sushi restaurant opened up about 4 months ago. My husband and I went and it was amazing. We then went on a double date with another friend and her husband and they loved it too. So when it was my turn to pick the next restaurant, I suggested that we go to this sushi place. A few other women spoke up that they have been wanting to try that place too. But then Jen spoke up and reminded us of Kate's food allergy and asked if I could pick a different restaurant. Unfortunately, the sushi place doesn't really sell much of anything that isn't seafood. Yes, they have dumplings and edamame type stuff for appetizers, but that's pretty much it. Not exactly a full meal. But I did the nice friend thing and picked a different restaurant that we could all eat at. The next week though, I asked the other girls who wanted to try the sushi place if they wanted to go with me and they accepted. It wasn't part of our normal scheduled dinners, just a few of us. But word got around that a smaller group of us had gone to the sushi place and didn't include everyone. Jin, Kate and another friend were upset that the rest of us had gone somewhere without them. They felt that we were purposely excluding people. But to me, this isn't middle school. We were allowed to do things as friends outside of the full group. And since Kate has a food allergy, it makes sense that she doesn't attend a meal like this. We still have our normal scheduled dinners, just this time a smaller group went to a restaurant that another friend could not eat at. Like if I wanted to exclude Kate, I could have just stood firm on eating at the sushi place to begin with. But I didn't. But Jen and Kate specifically think I crossed the line by going behind their backs to eat with just a few of us and that I'm trying to create division in our group. Now people are taking sides and pointing fingers and it's a whole mess. Was I in the wrong? You're not in the wrong. You picked a different place for her with the whole group. You just decided to go with the interested group of friends to that restaurant later on. They can't expect you to never eat seafood just because one person in the group cannot. Not in the wrong. As a shellfish allergy sufferer, I went in fully prepared to tell you that you were the jerk. But you clearly changed plans for the person and made separate plans for those that could attend. Maybe you could have said at the first dinner, "Hey, anyone want to go to that sushi place next week?" To officially invite everyone. But that's not even a requirement. Not in the wrong. What the heck is wrong with people that they think you could only go out to eat with a dinner group and no one else ever? So silly. They are just being ridiculous. So let's get something out of the way first. I'm Canadian, so we have Thanksgiving in October. My girlfriend 24 and I 26 have been dating for almost a year now. We've met each other's parents multiple times. I actually was just at her family's Thanksgiving dinner yesterday, with all her cousins, aunts, uncles, and grandparents. My parents are having Thanksgiving today and have been planning for a week. My brother is home from the States and has a friend coming with him. They have been planning around the two of them, and not once has mentioned or brought up my girlfriend. I'm of the opinion that they should be the ones inviting her, especially since they have been putting so much thought into my brother and his guest. Today I was talking about plans and I told my mother that my girlfriend and I have some plans, and depending on what happens, I may or may not be home for dinner. I told him I'm going to try to be home in time, but I don't want to mention anything about dinner in case my girlfriend feels hurt that she was not invited. My mother gets really upset at me and she's basically saying, why should they be the one inviting her? Of course she's allowed to come. I should have been the one who brought it up. Up until now, I'm willing to take the whole thing as a misunderstanding. It would have been totally normal if she was like, oh my god, I totally forgot. Of course she's invited. But the fact that she got upset and started yelling that I'm blaming her for not inviting my girlfriend kind of did it for me, especially when I wasn't even blaming her. Am I in the wrong here and should have asked to bring my girlfriend? Especially when they asked my brother about his guest a week ago, but not me? And now for some comments. You are in the wrong. This is a clear case of everything could have been avoided if OP communicated like an adult. You are in the wrong. Mom says, we're having Thanksgiving on October 10th. You? Hey, that's great. Can I invite my girlfriend and what can we bring? Of course she's invited. You don't have to bring anything. This is how adults act. You are in the wrong. They assumed she was coming. They asked your brother because he traveled. This passive-aggressive attitude hurts your girlfriend. It really feels like a misunderstanding. She got defensive because she thought you implied she didn't invite her, and maybe she thought there was no need for an invitation because she's your girlfriend. I don't know, but I feel no one is a jerk.